it do, everyone? Welcome to the first episode, aka week one, of Keeping Up with the RDF. So basically, what we're gonna get out of this is we have an X account that we kind of keep track of all of our trades and everything. But knowing this off season, there's been a lot of drama, a lot of shit talking in the sleeper app. So like, let's just bring it to life and just fucking get straight to the point with some of our fellow league mates as well too. So let me first introduce myself. My name's Johnny, aka with the new name this year, Bello Lemoncello. And a little about me. I'm just the 2025 champ. And I'm looking to redeem myself again this year. But even though my name's Johnny, we got another Johnny in here. So I'm gonna pass it off to my boy Johnny. Talk
What
about
up?
it.
I'm also Johnny, the better Johnny. I'm gonna win it this year, don't you worry. I'm Quinn's Gambit. I got the number one pick this year, but we're coming back. We're cooking.
What
I'm gonna
an
pass it off to my boy Charlie.
what an intro, man. Charlie here. Travion's Trench after the other Ohio State running back from a couple years ago, Travion Henderson. The only accolade to my name is in 2023, scored the most points in the league. That amounted to absolutely nothing because at the end of the day, if you ain't first, you're last. So, with that being said, Redemption Tour as always. Becker, back to you. Let's dive into it.
Absolutely. One thing to know about Trevion's Trench here, he basically has the next like 50 picks for the next like 2 years. So
Unfortunately.
um, that's why all you gotta do is trust the process. And when you start looking at our teams, even though Johnny finished in last place, when you look at his team now, even before the two picks he has in this first round, I'm telling you, man, there are some teams we'll be calling them out at some point in these episodes that don't do jack shit with their teams in the off season. So we can already tell that we're gonna already have a couple teams who are gonna be out of the playoffs. Easy said and done. But speaking about teams, first topic of week one, which I think is everyone's favorite in this league, are trades. So already in this off season since January, we've had 13 trades already happen. A
End of
mixture of
January, mind you. End of January.
yeah, exactly. So that's why we're gonna take turns talking about each one of these trades and basically just kind of seeing who won it, if it was a fair trade, and kind of go from there. And some of these trades are just draft pick trades too, but still, like now seeing like the combine all over and stuff like that, it's really just depends where these players are gonna fall.
If I
So
could butt in
I
real
think we
quick,
get straight.
let me butt in
Yeah,
real quick. Not only January 25th, that was the first trade of this offseason, 11 of the 13 trades have come in the past 10 days. So the league's been very
Yeah.
active lately.
Dude, I
yep,
blew it up. I was the
yep.
catalyst.
I'm telling you, once you make one trade, it's addicting, man.
I
It's
know.
addicting. You can't stop. So that's why I'm happy that this year I think is the most active we've been since we started in what 2023,
Three?
Yeah, that sounds right.
2023?
and also some of these trades are us. So
Most of these trades are us.
all I'm saying, I'm gonna be straight up honest, even though you guys are in here.
No,
I
I
don't care.
agree.
So that's what I'm gonna say.
I think it's
So
good. We can give our own viewpoints on our trades.
and yeah, good thing Johnny that you're speaking right now because you got the first trade of the off
I
season,
do.
man. So
I do.
let's get straight to the point because we'll let you talk because this is a trade in January. So you received Quinshawn Johnson. He traded away 206.
I did.
So what was the mindset of wanting to go in January and already going in on a receiver, not knowing yet what the draft is going to be like?
Well, so I already needed another wide receiver. My wide receiver core last year was just absolutely terrible. So I figured why not go get a big play guy for dirt cheap, former first round pick. He's big on the outside. He can go and get the ball. It seemed like a fucking no brainer to me at the time. And it seems to have panned out even better for me now that McDaniels is there. Because I'm very excited to see what happens now. And when the offensive tackles are coming back for Herbert and he can actually stand up in the pocket, give him a little bit of time. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I get a nice touchdown bonus.
I think QJ had a lot of hype going into his rookie year, and like it
He
just kind of
did.
he did not get any help whatsoever for him. Also, a shitty offensive line for the Chargers. Justin Herbert didn't even have a second to throw the damn ball over there.
I know.
So I think going into this year, though, as long as everyone's healthy and they actually maybe pull out like offensive tackle in their draft, man, that could be like the sneaky, like, not maybe like your wide receiver 1 or wide receiver 2, but like an instant sleeper. But I think for that value and only giving up a 206,
Right.
I think at that point it's like a diamond in the rough that you have to do research to like really find like a fucking key player at 206. So
I
I
did
think
see that they might trade him to the Eagles for AJ Brown, which we'll see what happens with that. I've seen
but
his name coming up in trade talks, but for now, I'm gonna rock with him on the Chargers, and I'm excited to see what happens.
absolutely. Charlie, anything on it?
Straight. I mean, it's a good trade for you. Um, the hardest thing for me is like 206 isn't a late pick, but it's also like late enough to where it's like you're kind of gambling on the rookie that you're gonna draft there. So it's like
Right.
you know what you're getting out of Quentin Johnston, so it's like why not go with him? And you got Herbert there. He's in good hands. He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, perfect transition now, because after Johnny talked about his, now we got Charlie for the next one, which I will say it right now.
Robbery.
This, in all of our, I think, years of playing Dynasty, I think this is the biggest steal trade in the history of this fucking league. Because at that point, it was a high risk, but now we can see it's a high reward. This man traded away just the last pick in the third round, in the third pick in the fourth round for Alec Pierce, who now at this point, Michael Pittman's going to the Steelers. Pierce is the top 10 paid wide receiver in the league. So he's already now guaranteed wide receiver 1 on that team. As long as Daniel Jones can get healthy. I mean, the guy had over 1,000 yards and had the least receptions in basically the whole league, averaging like 20 fucking something yards a fucking catch. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Like, one thing I love about TJ, he loves trades, but like, that man is probably the most addicted of like wanting to do trades with people. So like when he sees a trade that he maybe likes, he wants to do it instantly. But not even seeing like it's just like that's crazy to me. You can talk about that.
No, dude, like just... I was offered this trade. It wasn't like I cooked it up. I was offered this trade. At the time, TJ had no picks, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he was just like, I got to get draft capital. Here's a guy who's, man, I might get something for him. Now it's like, dude, this is a diamond in the rough. In 10 games with Danny Dimes, he was leading the league in receiving. I mean, he was averaging 20 yards of completion with Daniel Jones. I mean, it's insane. I mean, he's such like a good target.
No, it's insane.
Dude, and now he's getting wide receiver 1 looks, so it's like it's gonna be good. So at first it was kind of like a depth piece for me, but now it's like probably he's a good flex option. So, dude, I cannot be more excited for that Michael Pittman to the Steelers trade. When that happened and I saw Danny Dimes re-sign with the Colts, dude, I'm juiced up.
You know what? Well, enough said for that, because like we can definitely talk more shit on that trade, but I'm not going to get to that because we still got like 10 more. But now this is a trade I know that had a little bit of people talking in the chat. It was the first trade of March, which I think now I fully regret disagreeing that Johnny won this trade, but Johnny did win this trade now. So he did give up a 108 and a 201, but for pick 5. But when you look at the value at pick 5 now, Sadiq, we already know Sadiq is jumping to 3. So like Johnny's guaranteed a top 4 player now.
Yeah.
Because Sadiq is currently ranked 8th. And even though we're tight end premium, like that's how stacked this draft is. So knowing that Sadiq is going at, unless your dad does a full 360 and doesn't let Ryan get it, you're guaranteed one of those star 3 receivers or the second best running back. So like now I think the value definitely reaches expectations. But for Ryan though, the have still like 2 early picks still wins for him too, but he's not going to get the value that you're going to get now.
Well, I believe he's already traded away 108.
Yeah.
And so he still has 201, but I'm in a no-lose situation no matter what happens. If he decides to go wide receiver at 3, I'm taking, best player available at 5. I can pretty much do anything I want right there, and I can't lose, so.
No, it's a good move, but like 201, like the reason why I was so against it at first, 201 is essentially a first rounder. Like yes, it's a first pick of the second round, but it's essentially
It
pick
is, but
113. To move up like 3 spots though is like it's
move
such
up
a
3 spots. But I get pretty much whoever I want that falls to me.
it's such a deep
It's,
class to where I'm like, eh,
I understand, but I don't think I don't think that the wide receiver class is as deep as a lot of people think it is. I'll
yeah,
be honest.
that's fair.
Well, when you think about it, I would also agree it's a deep class because from last year and the year before that with rookie quarterbacks, there was I know last year Cam Ward went in the first round, and I know the year before that that was when like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels went top 4, but Mendoza, who's going to be the first pick this year, he's not projected to go in our draft until he's like a late second round pick. He's like the
Yeah.
10th pick in the second round. Like
Mhm.
that's how stacked this draft room is this year.
However,
And
I'm
like
not sure if that's how stacked that is or how bad the quarterbacks are this year. You know what I mean? I think it could be a mix of both.
Mendoza being what he is though, Johnny, new member, your father in this league said he's taking Mendoza at 108, which is crazy
did.
because the mocks have Mendoza going at like pick 210. So it's like what are we doing?
Well, does he even have a second round pick this year? I don't know if he could get him in the second.
so
I don't think so.
he currently has what does he have? I know he has the 108, but the big thing he's been saying about me is, with all due respect, I know a lot of people have been talking shit about my dad and taking over a shitty team, but like when you look at his team now, like I know there's more trades that we'll be talking about, but like he literally had no draft picks, like
He did have
at
none.
all anywhere because Dale, which
R.I.P.
I got all of his players last year. That's all I can say.
Yep.
But Dale just made it terrible. I think Dale just reached a point maybe that he was just like, you know what, it's solo. Whatever happens, happens. Like if I make it to the playoffs, maybe he would have stayed, but he finished in 7th place. So like we'll never know. But like respect the Dale.
Hey, better than me.
Exactly. But the reason why that I think he would go Mendoza is because he knows that there's teams out there that need quarterbacks desperately. And I feel like if it got to a point that he would honestly maybe trade like Mendoza and like that second round pick next year for him to find another key like running back in the rough or like a decent wide receiver. But his wide receivers, I don't know if you guys saw his team. He has like probably one of the best wide receivers in the league. Like just his 4. He has T. Higgins, George Pickens, Garrett Wilson, and
Odunze.
yeah, Odunze, and with the DJ Moore trade. So that's a fun thing about that 8th pick because from there on, it's just kind of draft day when it comes, man.
He needs
But we
some
know
running
he's-
backs though. He needs some running backs.
He does, and we'll be talking about that Kenneth Walker trade in a bit. So, but man, and you know what? Another Johnny trade now here.
Oh, God.
Another one.
This one,
Mhm.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now this is an interesting one to talk about. Now, I will say this. So, Johnny got Zay Flowers. You know, he was a 1,000-yard receiver last year. And then he gave up Malik Washington, Woody Marks in the 9th pick, and this was before David Montgomery went to the Texans. So now, is it a matter of like regret, or do you kind of like the value of Zay Flowers? Because like, if we go and keep trade cut with that trade, like, there's a heavy favor with 109 and Woody Marks, and with Tyreek Hill not there anymore, Malik Washington, he could be wide receiver 2 there. So like,
Hey,
matter of dude.
I'm not upset at the trade at all. I knew going into it that Woody Marks was my 4th wide receiver or running back. And I needed a wide receiver really bad. Let me give you some backstory in this trade. So I had tried to make that same trade with your dad for Pickens before I made this trade. I texted him that morning. I said, "Hey, what does it take to just get Pickens? No one else." He texted me. He goes 101. I said, I sent him back the thumbs up, and then I immediately went and sent this trade because I was done. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do the back and forth, limbo bullshit. So I went and made this trade. He already cut Malik Washington. He's back on my bench. So really, I traded Woody Marks in 109, and Woody Marks is now the running back too. I'm not upset at that trade at all.
I completely forgot about Malik getting dropped and you just picked him back up. So
Yeah.
that's just
Listen,
people in this league,
my
man.
only thing with the Zay Flowers trade, his rookie season, he finished wide receiver 31. Second season, wide receiver 25. Last year, wide receiver 7. Hey, God bless him, dude. Fantastic. One good year, and you give up pick 109. Like, it's just like,
My whole thing was, am I going to get a better wide receiver at 109?
maybe.
Maybe. But all I need him to be is my wide receiver 2. I don't need him to be my wide receiver 1.
Yeah, hey, man, it's you make your own bed and you lie in it. So you know what?
I do.
If it
You're
pans
right.
out,
You're
if
right.
it pans out, you know what? I owe you.
Yeah. I hope it
I
does,
think
for my sake.
also like you're probably gonna be guaranteed one of those star receivers at 105. So like when you think about it now, you're gonna at least come out of this trade of having Zay Flowers, and then also you're gonna have Jeremiah Love, of course, unless you want to take Mendoza at 101.
Yeah. And I still have Malik Neighbors just sitting there chilling. So
Yeah, man. I know I was trying to trade for him like last year when he tore his ACL, and
yeah, I know.
and I was like, look, man. So, I mean, that's why some people make smart trades, and maybe it's gonna work out for you. But
we'll see.
now,
I can't not take a chance and wonder. So we'll just play a little bit.
now I think this is my favorite trade only because these are the two people who are probably the most active on the sleeper app of Ryan and TJ. Because I think combined now, these two guys have probably made at least like uh, in the 13 trades, they're probably in at least 7 or 8 of them. So his trade is also an interesting one, but I already know I already hate one person for making this trade. So Ryan received Rashee Rice, Troy Franklin, 109, and 402. And then TJ received Brian Thomas, Michelle Tutin, and the 108. And I'm going to say my piece now because when this happened, first of all, there is no timetable on Rashee Rice anywhere. Even though he is a great wide receiver, he's terrible. Respectfully, like, never want to call out players because, like, but just seeing, like, the news and stuff like that, like, there's no timetable with Rashee Rice with everything that's going on. So he's taking a high risk on him even playing this season, but also trading away Brian Thomas, who went from being a top 10 receiver his rookie year to all of a sudden being a wide receiver. I think it was 40 when I last checked. But now the acquires of Jacoby Myers and Malik Washington, which in fact, look at Malik Washington's stats at the end of the season. The dude was almost averaging, I think, at least 70 to 80 yards receiving a game. Like, it was mind blowing. So, but for him also just doing a trade back. So now at 108, which I know he doesn't have anymore, it's to my dad. But like, I just don't understand the mindset that you're. He even said it in the chat that he's risking it and he likes to gamble, which you're gambling on a receiver that's not going to play, but then you're also even trading a pick back where you could have drafted a wide receiver at 108 instead and still trust Brian Thomas. He had a bad year last year. I get it. But a man still is me respectfully, still one of the best wide receivers in this league, at least me personally. Everybody has a sophomore hiccup. Every fucking receiver does. But all I have to say is now, I don't know who really would win this trade, but I know when it happened, I was so upset with Ryan with trying to risk Rashee Rice because the news are already out. Like, it's not like anything was hidden at that point. Like, everything was already happening with Rashee Rice. So, for his sake, I don't know if the gambling is going to work out. Time will tell, and we'll see. But I don't know. I think it was a flush down the toilet type of trade. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, with like
The one thing I will say. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, all you.
I was gonna say the one thing I will say. I'm pretty sure Brian Thomas is wide receiver 3 on his team at this point because Jacoby Myers and who's the other guy out there?
Malik Washington?
No, Parker Washington.
Oh, Parker Washington. Yeah.
Parker Washington and Jacoby Myers both just got paid this offseason.
Yeah, they
And
did.
so that kind of leaves Brian Thomas in a weird spot. I know they said they're going to move Travis Hunter to corner, but how long is that going to stay? Because honestly, he played receiver better than he played corner. And so I understand maybe taking a shot at Raji Rice. Maybe you think, oh, he's only going to get suspended 6 games, and then he's going to play the next 11 with Mahomes, and that's a shot you're willing to take. Troy Franklin's the wide receiver too in an aging wide receiver room. I don't. I understand what he was thinking maybe a little bit. I'm not saying it was a great trade, but I can understand the thought process behind it.
Yeah, I think especially when you look at like the only thing why I'm kind of still hopeful for Brian Thomas is just like Jaguars were clicking on all cylinders like toward the
They
end
were.
of the like they were so good. They were explosive. Like that's still gonna be there, you would think, especially with Trevor Lawrence figuring it out finally, it feels like last year. So I don't know, man. I'm kinda high on the Jags offense compared to what they did, at the end of last season, but the Rashee Rice side of it's kind of interesting.
And I know with the draft, like from mock drafts I've been looking at, they've actually been saying that the Chiefs are going to take a wide receiver in the first round. So of
That would
course,
make
like
sense.
that's why like I don't know if they're worried with it, but I know for the Brian Thomas sake, in a matter of 3 days, they went from they're not trading Brian Thomas at all to then the last update saying that now they're looking at trading him. So it also matters like where they're going to be looking at what team he's going to go to. But then there's the news of Travis Hunter, which they've been saying that he's going to almost be like a full time cornerback at this point and barely play wide receiver. So, like, that definitely helps. I think the whole Jaguars wide receiver room with Washington, Jacoby Myers, and Brian Thomas. So I think it's just a matter of now if Rashee Rice will get suspended, if Brian Thomas, if his value is still going to be high. So I think just time will tell when it comes to that point. But we're only in March, man. The first game is until September, so we got a long time until
We
week one
sure
comes.
do.
And now we can finally talk about me. Thank goodness. So now we can talk about my trade, and I won't be the first one to talk. I'll let you guys go. So I received Jacoby Myers in pick 108, and I traded away Stafford, Laporta, and 306. Take the
Uh,
floor.
Listen, don't short yourself. It was pick 106. And Jacoby, dude, you won this trade. There's no world
Yeah.
where you lose this trade. You trade away Matt Stafford, who at the end of last year, genuinely people had no idea if he was playing. People didn't know if he was going to play last year. He had the back injuries. No one knew. Yeah, sure. Won the MVP. Dude had a stellar year. God bless him. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. This is probably it for him. I think he probably thinks that. I think the league thinks that, especially at NFL Honors when he announces, like, I'll be back next year. Sure, why not? Sam Laporta, okay, he's 25. It's a tight end premium league now. It's a good piece, but even last year he had a pretty down year. Um, I mean, I say down year, he finishes tight end three, but still when
Injured too.
injured too. But when you think of guys like a Trey McBride or a Brock Bowers, like he does not reach that tight end comparison. And then pick 309, it's kind of just like a throw in to be like, here, take it, so we
Throw
can
man.
push this through. You won the trade. I mean, it's hands down, I think unanimous. Beside maybe TJ saying otherwise, but like you definitely won
Yeah,
this trade.
I would agree. Dude, you don't understand how mad I was when you made this trade because you screwed me over so hard. I had a trade in place for 107 and Brian Thomas, and then you made this trade, and he did not want to do it anymore. So thanks for that. No, I think it's a good trade. You got rid of Stafford right at the end of his career when his value is probably the highest right now. Honestly, right after the MVP, you kind of inflate his value. And Jacoby Myers just got paid, and you pick up 106. I mean, how do you beat that?
I think from that point too, with the trade that I had, because he needed a backup quarterback. I forgot who his. He had Bo Nix, but after that, his other quarterbacks were it was Jacoby Brissett. I believe he also had like the. I think he was the one that has like I think Justin Fields and like a whole bunch of other like just backup quarterbacks. So I knew he needed one. He had no tight ends, and that's when I know the next trade is another one that I made. I kind of already knew like something was gonna be in the works with my dad and I with me getting those tight ends. So I know giving up Laporta, I can get so much value out of it. Now with 106, even though I probably sent Johnny 50 trades to try to get 105, I know he's not budging. So like we'll see what happens at 106, but um, time will tell. I think there is no person I think in this league that I could have made that trade with than TJ. Because I
Yeah.
know once again that dude loves making trades, and I was like, let's just see what happens here. But now comes one of my favorite trades, probably since I got that deal to get Tet McMillan, Tyler Warren last year. This trade is going to be interesting because now you have to look at the aspect of my dad taking over his, atrocious team. So, once again, tight end premium now. Once again, I'm going to let you guys talk. So, I got Kyle Pitts, I got Tyler Warren, and I got a 2028 second round pick. But in return, I did give up one of my receivers in T. Higgins, Brenton Strange, Tyler Show, 2027 first round. And I'll say this first, my dad had no picks at all, like anywhere. He had no backup quarterback as well. And besides the trade before with like Kenneth Walker and everything, he needed to still build and find another key role player. So at least me, the only thing I hate about this trade now is the only true wide receiver I have on my team now is Tet McMillan. I have studs at running backs. I know that for a fact. Studs at tight ends. But I know I'm gonna get a little worried when that time does come if like an injury does happen. Don't know how that's gonna look, but I'm taking a big risk in this tight end premium league now and just sticking with Pitts and Warren. And from there, for my dad's sake, I know he's loving the first round pick next year, but one thing about me, like I know with my team, I know I have a good team. I know when it comes to these draft picks, I know I'm gonna have late draft picks. If anything, like it would be a late first rounder if it's a 108 to a 112. So like I know like I'm not gonna be giving up a first pick next year or a third pick next year. So I think with that trade I was fine giving up that first round pick. But once again, I can't stop smiling when I see Pitts and Tyler Warren on my team now. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, I understand from your dad's perspective. Your dad got some much needed pieces. That first rounder next year, well, it's going to be later, needed it. Tyler Shuck, honestly, had a pretty damn good rookie year when he did inevitably like take over at QB1. He was solid. T. Higgins, obviously, is a dog. Brenton Strange, a young tight end, and especially in a tight end premium league. However, in a tight end premium league, you give up Kyle
Yeah.
Pitts, who, I mean, granted, the quarterback situation is the quarterback situation. Dude broke out of his shell in the last, 5 ish weeks of the season. That's what people
Yeah, he
expected
did.
when he came into the league, 5 years ago at this point. So it's kind of, he was due for this. Tyler Warren, I feel like, is getting passed around like candy. He's been a part of 3 different trades already in his rookie year. Um, it's
Mhm.
insane how good he is, and especially with Daniel Jones. I mean, he finished as a rookie at tight end 4 last year, so it sucks to give that up. I hate that your dad's doing a second in 2028 because your pick, I mean, next year, I genuinely believe you're going to finish top 1 or 2 next year. It's going to be pick 111 or 112. Your dad's pick that he just gave you is probably going to be like, could be anywhere from 203. So it's like, to fall back those 5 spots, it's kind of it's whatever. But it's a trade, and like all of these, we're gonna see how they play out in the long run.
Right. Yeah. No, I giving up Pitts and Warren in a tight end premium is crazy. Giving up one of them would have been like maybe understandable. Giving up both of them and then having Brenton Strange as your tight end is mind-boggling. Especially when he didn't even need T Higgins really. I mean, he had Odunze. I understand he was wide receiver too at the time, but he's young. He was in a good offense with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. I mean, Tyler Shuck, yeah, your dad needed a quarterback bad, and the first round pick is definitely very nice. But giving up both tight ends for a wide receiver too, I understand it's the Bengals offense, but say Joe Burrow gets hurt again, what is Higgins going to do? I mean, all those targets went to Jamar Chase when Burrow was out, and who's to say Higgins doesn't get hurt? It seems like he gets hurt every year. So I don't know. It seems like it was a massive overpay for some depth pieces, but I don't know if I would say they were all quality pieces.
Dude, the only thing I'm scared about though with Joe Burrow, at least 6 times a year now, he's gonna be facing either T.J. Watt, Miles Garrett, and now Trey Hendrickson.
It could have
So
been Trey
like
Henderson and Max Crosby. Count yourself lucky.
what I'm saying. So I've been like I've been slowly like looking at teams and maybe try to trade Joe Burrow, but every person saying like with the division now, so like trading a young rookie who like finished with an average of 20 plus points a game. Last final 11 games I calculated with Tyler Shuck, he still finished with over 20 points per game. And I'm very happy Sam Darnold, he won a Super Bowl, but he still wasn't, I believe, a top 10 quarterback. And I picked up Malik Willis, and I know he got a 3-year contract. So, like, currently right now, I'm banking on Joe Burrow to stay healthy. Because if not, then, like, I don't know what's going to happen from there on. But more of the story, I think he knows he can get value out of T. Higgins. After, once again, I'm not going to say anything about that Kenneth Walker trade yet until we get to it. But I think he has something cooking right now. But, you know,
It's a slow burn.
man. He
He's
sends
smoking that
paragraphs.
fucking team.
He's sending paragraphs in these chats, man. He's
I know.
calling me.
Your dad is a generational rage baiter, dude. He just
And
gets
I
on. He gets under everybody's skin, and it's awesome.
and we finally needed something like that because, like, I don't. We just needed someone like my dad to be in it. Thank
Yeah.
goodness. All right, now going back. Now we got another Charlie trade. In this one,
Fucking
I was
steal, dude.
fully me. People were like, "This is so balanced." I texted Charlie instantly. I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." I was like, "You won this trade. I don't care what you say." But I know with the contract that Shaheed got, so I know TJ got Shaheed from Seattle and Cortland Sutton, who Cortland Sutton, once again, he is still at least averaging from 10 to 15 points a game. Still a solid player.
Good flex
But you,
piece.
exactly. But at this point, I know you traded it away. You got a 108 and a 312 in return. Me personally, right now, I know Sutton aging right now at 30 something and it being a very heavy draft this year. At 108, there's still in mock drafts like first round wide receivers. Like there's gonna probably be at least 5 to 6 wide receivers getting drafted in the first round. So we know there's gonna be insane talent. And at least by like 109, probably that last wide receiver will be drafted. From there on, it's gonna be the diamond in the roughs. But with the Shaheed trade, I know he got a 3-year contract, but like he still has Cup there, of course JSN there, of course our boy from Aurora, AJ Barner, who got a touchdown in the Super Bowl too. So like it's just a matter of what they're gonna do at the running back position and if they're gonna be able to maybe use Sam Darnold more because Kenneth Walker was basically at the end of the season. Kenneth Walker did everything for that team because Charbonnet got hurt. That was his team. He literally did everything. His stats don't lie. But me personally, I think at that point, Charlie got the value at 108 easily before like contracts came in and everything.
Yeah, I really think like Sutton being 30 definitely helped me move on from him. Um, I mean, I could pick up a guy who's maybe 22 years old, and if he pans out, then it's like, all right, I get 8 years younger with a pretty solid wide receiver. Shaheed, I think if he was still in New Orleans, I would honestly have more like I would have had more value in him. I think simply the fact that he went to Seattle and they used him a lot in the special teams game, I just didn't love that. I mean, I feel like he's due for an injury. Granted, the explosive plays were nice, especially with the bonus that we have in the league. But I mean, you guys don't think it's a balanced trade. I do. I still think it's a balanced trade. However,
I know.
I got some draft depth. 108. Obviously, I don't have it anymore. We'll see where that trade went. But yeah, I'm overall I feel like it's one of the more balanced trades that we've seen lately.
Listen, I get it. Sutton's wide receiver one. I don't know. I feel like his role is kind of being taken over. I feel like Troy Franklin was on par with him the whole season, honestly. And he's 30. I mean, he's not getting any younger. I feel like they're gonna move on from him sooner rather than later. And then where is he gonna end up? You never know. I don't know. And Shaheed, he seems like he's been a special teams guy more than he's been anything else kind of guy. Maybe like he's filling a Jameson Williams role like they do in Detroit, but I don't see Shaheed finishing as wide receiver 10 anytime soon. So
Now going on to another Charlie trade, which this I can say the biggest steal, the
fuck it.
biggest steal. Charlie got Marvin Harrison a 109 and still a 202. Yes, did he give up a top 3 pick? He gave Ryan 103. Yes. Do we know what he wants to do at 103? Yes. But you're giving up Still, the wide receiver won with the Cardinals, which I get it. Michael Wilson took a lot of the targets, and Michael Wilson, he's looking great. Like it's gonna be a wide receiver A and B kind of setup there. But Marvin Harrison is still a dog. I would still put that man in my lineup. I remember I was gonna try a trade for Marvin Harrison. I got him in that trade last year with Marvin Harrison, Tyler Warren. I was ecstatic. He did get hurt, so that's why his stats kind of are on the rough side. But when you still think that you're getting a 109 out of it and still an early second round, and like you were saying, it's still technically a first round pick that you're getting, it's a very heavy draft. And he's just doing it to get to 103. And he ruined it because he already said people that he wants to take Sadiq. When, once again, knowing your dad, you would take Sadiq to probably piss off Ryan. And that would truly just ruin because he has no tight end. His starting tight end, I believe, is Jawan Johnson.
No, it's Zach Ertz.
Oh, Zach Ertz. Oh, okay, there we go. Zach Ertz. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. So basically, that's why, like, in that trade, what I saw was just him panic trading and seeing a top 3 pick when he could have still gotten so much value at 109. And also at 202, the next best tight end is going at, like, I think 12. And I believe the kid Stowers from Vanderbilt. So, like, he could have still gambled in the 109 or even at 202 if it fell to still get a starting tight end on a different team. But I think he's just very excited now that he has a top 3 pick. But at that point, if you don't get Sadiq, I personally think like Tate, Tyson, and Lemon, they're all are going to have basically the same value. But me personally, I go on Keep Trade Cut, man. That's all I have to say. Go on Keep Trade Cut. You're going to see the value in this trade.
I tried to trade for Marv after that deal with Tyson went through for Brian Thomas, and he texted me. He goes, I have a deal in place for Marv. So I was like, oh, I got to see where this is going. As soon as I saw this trade, I about flipped my shit, dude, because I was texting him like, dude, what is that value? Fucking, I was lost for words. This is an absolute steal by Charlie. I mean, you're picking up a wide receiver 1 who had a down year last year, but we all know what kind of a prospect he is. I mean, he's going to bounce right back, and a late first and an early second. I mean, you can't really beat that fucking value at all.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty thrilled with this one. I mean, I as soon as I said, hey, I'm looking to shop pick 103, I want to say this was one of the earlier offers that I got, which was sweet. Now, I was fielding some other offers for pick 103, and I really went with this one. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer with Marv being 23 years old, which is insane still. The only issue I see there is like, hey, like Arizona just released Kyler. Kyler's officially a Viking. Like Gardner Minshew, I want to say. I think it's
Jacoby Brissett.
Didn't Gardner Minshew also sign there?
He signed there, I think, as the backup. I'm pretty sure Brissett is still the starter.
Listen, Jacoby Brissett, NC State legend.
That thing.
Hey, I'm happy.
Throws the ball like 45 times. He may throw 3 interceptions, but the man, like, if it's like they're gonna do like a tank and like maybe go after like Arch Manning in 2027, but like from a fantasy standpoint, I know a lot of people, we don't root for those teams as long as our players do fine. But Jacoby Brissett, that dude flings that thing in an indoor stadium too. Golly, man. Like, that's all I gotta say.
No, it's a good one. I'm happy.
That's a great one.
All right, Johnny, now we get to talk about your dad here. I will say this trade happened when I was driving back home from Florida with my dad, and my dad was going absolutely crazy on this trade. Because this is, of course, before the free agency stuff and everything. So at this point, Ryan, he got Wan'Dale Robinson, who was on the Giants at that time still, and Bucky Irving. And your dad ended up getting 102
and 203.
203. And I texted Ryan before this trade happened. Literally, the night before this trade happened, he told me what he wanted to do. And I was like, don't trade your 102, do the 103, because now you're giving him all the power at 102. Like, you've been saying that you want to take Sadiq at 103. We already know Jeremiah Love is going 1. You have all the power with the second pick. So, even though I still think your dad won this trade, I just don't understand why Ryan would give up the second pick knowing he had the third pick. And I think I can speak for everyone. If I have back-to-back picks, like I have picks 6 and 7, if I make a trade with someone, I'm not giving them the 6th pick. I'm giving them the 7th pick. Like there's no way I'm allowing someone to have a pick in front of me if I'm making a trade with them if I have those 2 picks. But now Bucky Irving is now gonna share with Kenneth Gainwell. And if you look at Kenneth Gainwell's stats, that's gonna be like a switch off drives type of running backs. So
Right.
that's why I think your dad got insane value of trading Bucky. And I know Ryan, he was in desperate need for a running back, but for the 102, he could have easily gotten a way better running back, like a dynasty running back aspect. Like 102, like you can think like a James Cook type of style, or even you could have maybe gotten Jonathan Taylor from your dad with the 102 if other stuff was added to the package. But now
Right.
Wanda Robinson, he signed that 4 years, 70 million. So he's technically the wide receiver one over there with the Titans, but like he is going back with his former coach with Brian Dabble, and who knows, maybe Cam Ward can have a um, good upbeat season going into his sophomore year. So time will tell how the Robinson trade will look, but I just don't understand why he would trade away a 102 like that.
So
I don't understand.
Ryan was texting me about this trade actually, and I said, if you want any of my dad's running backs, you're probably gonna have to overpay. And I knew my dad wasn't gonna give up Jonathan Taylor or Genty because those are just they weren't gonna happen. And so I said you're probably gonna have to go after Bucky. And so he was texting me, and I was like, dude, I mean, he'll probably accept the offer if you send it. And my dad comes and talks to me. He goes, "Hey, do you know what Ryan just sent me?" I go, "Yeah, yeah, I know what he sent you." And I don't think that the Wayndale trade. I think getting Wayndale is okay because I think being wide receiver one in Tennessee with a brand new offensive coordinator, a young quarterback, they're probably at this point. It sounds like they're going to draft Jeremiah Love. Um, I mean, they have a just really young offensive talent. I think that Wayndale trade's fine. The Bucky trade he did make, I will say, before Gainwell got there. And at the time, if you're hoping Bucky can go back to how he was his rookie year, you're getting a top 10 running back, top 15 running back. I mean, I can understand the need for running back. Um, maybe yeah, overpaid would be the right term, but he probably had to overpay to get him.
Yeah, I think the way that our running back market is right now, it's just kind of insane. So I get
Mm-hmm.
overpaying. Wanda Robinson, I think, is such a good addition. Granted, he made the trade when he was still a Giant, but now hindsight being 2020, I think it's a great fit with Cam Ward, who, number one pick last year. I mean, they're rebuilding, but I think that's a very promising offense. But yeah, the Bucky trade. I mean, even when he was healthy his rookie season, he finished running back 13. Last year was running back 34. Granted, he missed 7 games, but it's also like now they got Kenny Gainwell, so it's just kind of like And
Right.
granted, that was after this trade, but still, like that's the beauty about making a trade right before free agency is that this type of shit can happen. So it's kind of funny. But yeah, even without Kenneth Gainwell going there, huge overpay.
Also, this whole entire time, Charlie has like legit numbers too on wide receiver 12, running back 4. Like he has receipts, man. This dude's ready. And then me and Johnny, we're just spitballing. I feel like at this point, but
Oh yeah, I'm
the
going
spit.
off gut.
So now this is another
Oh
trade.
my god.
Once again, it's Charlie. Which okay, once again, we'll hear from both sides. So Charlie got Chris Godwin, and he got Kenneth Walker. Once again, this was before the whole free agency stuff, where he was going. And my dad got Ramondre Stevenson, a 2027 second, and a 2026 108. And I will speak on my dad here first. Kenneth Walker, he's a full-on dynasty running back stud now. Easily a top 10 running back now with that contract and everything. And I think the Seahawks made a terrible decision not signing him. But I think from a Chiefs standpoint, right off the bat, with Mahomes being out, that's going to be the same thing. Kenneth Walker, he's going to at least be a running back top 5 going into like half of the season. When everyone's healthy, who knows what Mahomes is going to do. But with the Chris Godwin trade, with Mike Evans leaving, Godwin's going back into that wide receiver 2 role. And before his injury, his stats didn't lie. He was once again like a top 20 wide receiver, averaging like that solid like 12, 13 points a game. But that's ideally very good value before the whole entire free agency happened. But speaking from my dad's point of view, I know we have Travion Henderson with the Patriots. I know Ramondre Stevenson did sign a 3-year contract last year. So I still know Stevenson's he's gonna have value. He'll probably average maybe anywhere from 8 to 12 points a game. But I think that's what my dad was looking for because I think with the 2027 pick that you gave him, it's gonna be an early 2027. So I think he's just gonna look forward to hopefully a running back next year that's going to follow him there or willing to like make trades. But for him also get a first round pick this year, he's more excited about it. He can finally actually build his team, which once again, there's projected 3 running backs going in the first round. So even though he did give up Kenneth Walker, don't get me wrong, he's a stud. But I think he was just really looking for just a very small role player. And then with that 108, even though he's joking around of wanting Mendoza, I know if that's going to happen, we'll see. But I know a lot of people were favoring the Kenneth Walker that Charlie won this trade. I still see the value what my dad was looking at, though. I know it's a father son thing, but I got to agree with him. I can understand why he wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think if Kenneth Walker went back to Seattle, the trade probably would have been seen as even. But as soon as Kenneth Walker signed with the Chiefs, this was the most lopsided trade that it's almost as good as the Marv trade, honestly, because the value you just got in Kenneth Walker being the running back one there, I don't even know who's behind him. Kareem Hunt, is that the running back too?
Pacheco's gone now too.
Pacheco's gone, I
Kareem's
know.
also gone. He's not under contract.
So who do they even have?
It's a
bunch
Clyde
of
dudes.
Edwards-Helaire?
Rashard Smith.
Dude, the value you just got from that Kenneth Walker pick is it's like worth almost 2 first rounders because going to play with the Chiefs and that Andy Reid offense is gonna be life changing for that man, and he will be probably a top 7 fantasy running back this year.
Yeah. I think from the Kenneth Walker behalf, to your point about the Chiefs' running back depth, they have Rashard Smith and Shunderick Powell. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the great Shunderick Powell.
Oh, dude, I know that guy.
Yeah, of course, you know that one guy. I mean, I do expect the Chiefs to draft a running back at some point in the draft. I don't think they're going to do it at pick 9. I think they're going to go receiver. But I mean, obviously, he was a free agent when I traded for him, and he couldn't have landed at a better spot. Chris Godwin obviously was wide receiver 2 at the time that I traded for him. He's 30. Last 2 years, he's been injury prone. I mean, he played 7 games in 2024 and 9 games in 2025. But when he is healthy, he's a top 15-ish receiver, maybe top 20 receiver. So really, it's just more depth for me. Ramondre Stevenson. Honestly, I had Ramondre and Travion Henderson last year and could never decide which one of them to start. So this now forces me to start Travion Henderson. And I think as last year went on, Travion definitely got more touches down the stretch, which kind of made me happy. He had those big explosive games. I think he had one game where he had 2 50-yard plus touchdowns, and I was like, hell yeah, like this is the guy. Giving up 108. I had pick 109 as well at the time, so I was sitting at 108 and 109, and I was like, screw it, like I'm gonna do it. It gets me Kenneth Walker, so it's kind of a no-brainer for me at least. And then that 2027 second, I already had 2 going into 2027. I had 2 2027 seconds, so again, I felt pretty good about that one.
Yeah, man, that Chiefs spot. That's the spot I was hoping Jeremiah Love was gonna go, and I was gonna be so happy. And then I saw that they signed Kenneth Walker and the Saints signed fucking ETN. I was like, oh, this is going really downhill.
When you look at the division too, depending, of course, we've always known the Broncos defense. Like, I know the only thing going into that division, I know the Raiders have been signing a shit ton of players on their defense, spending big money. And now Max Crosby looks like he's coming back. Is that going to stop Kenneth Walker from being a dog? Absolutely not. I know he's going to still enter a division that's going to have a decent run defense that he's going to have to play against. But overall, Kenneth Walker is still Kenneth Walker, Super Bowl MVP. We saw what he did there still against that stud of a defense as well against the Patriots. So, man almost had like 100 rushing yards in, the first half? Like, it was freaking insane. So, now we get to talk about me. And basically, I traded away Chris Olave, and I got 107, 306. This is what I'm going to say about this trade right now. Chris Olave skyrocketed this offseason. I traded away Chris Olave only because I know for a fact the Saints now, with them signing TN, they're going to probably go wide receiver. There was no other wide receiver on that team for the Saints last year. And with Olave staying healthy, literally the man was just averaging 100 yards per game. So, am I still sad that I just gave away a wide receiver? I believe he was a wide receiver 6.
Or
Wide receiver 4.
mm-hmm.
But once again, at the value at 107, I knew it had the 106. So kind of there on, I can keep those, or I may wait till the draft and see if people want to make trades with me. I'll see what happens. But I think out of this value, Olave is still young if he stays healthy. PJ is still getting a star out of him. But I think for me, I just had to kind of risk it, and we'll see who wins this trade when it comes to next year. But I don't know. I think it was kind of a fair trade for both sides. But I am very excited now because I got pick 6, 7. So we'll see how that goes. So
I think it was a pretty balanced trade. I think the only way that it goes more lopsided towards Tyson is if Olave stays healthy, which that's been a big question mark for him. Is if he gets another concussion, is he even going to be able to play anymore? So it could be a one and done type of deal. Like he plays one more year and he's out forever because his brain just can't fucking take it. Now, if he stays healthy the next 5 years, who's to say? Could be an absolute winner for Tyson, but time will tell.
Yeah, pretty similar stance on this one. Becker, I think you won it. Simply for the fact that Olave just hasn't been healthy consistently. Granted, like 2 years ago, I think he missed half the season because of concussions and other like hamstring injuries, stuff like that. Last year was his best year of his career, but before that, his highest year, like PPR ranking wise, he was PPR ranked 16 in his second year, and then that was the highest until last year. Granted, maybe this was, him and Shuck are going to be that duo that's like takes over the league next, with Shuck being, going into his sophomore year and having that comfort guy in Olave. But man, it's just like Olave's concussions, man. That scares me. I legit think, to Johnny's point, like he could have another concussion and be done. But hopefully he stays healthy.
only thing, finally, he has a quarterback that doesn't throw him hospital balls. He finally played a full healthy season and didn't get hurt, so that's why maybe Shuck is the promising factor. Um, but hey, man, he's an Ohio State legend, so of course I want nothing about that man, about just him being healthy. That's all I want. But now we got the blockbuster trade of the whole entire year right here, man. Which, of course, when you look at the team that he went to, it's a matter of like, is this a steal? But at the point, it's like, what are we doing right now? 4th-round pick for Tyler Algier. Me personally, like, I Tyler was 1,000-yard rusher his rookie year, and then once again, what happened? They drafted Bijan. His stock just went down. But will Tyler be his same self his rookie year going to the Cardinals with, once again, out of I think all the teams right now in the league, the Cardinals are, I have no clue what they're doing. Like, there's just no value right now of seeing if he's going to be stardom or not. But they still have Trey Benson with the Cardinals too, who also is going to only be in his second year as well. So, like, it's a matter of, like, what are they doing with the Cardinals? But they're also restructuring James Conner contract. So if he's healthy too, like, we can't tell really with this trade, but it is probably the biggest blockbuster trade we've had in this fucking offseason.
Right.
Holy shit. Because all TJ was saying, he's like, running back 1, like, it's game over, like, and then he was saying the toot and stuff, like, when ETN got traded, he's like, I got another running back 1, and I'm like, dude, no. I'm like, no, pop off. Like, if I might be laughing now, but, like, at the end of the year, they could be top 20 running backs, and we'll never know. But I think it's just very funny that we had a trade like that.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, to your point, James Conner's under contract, restructured deal. Trey Benson, who is still, I think, better than Algier, and like in the small sample size that we've seen them, like they're both the same type of running back to where they haven't had the opportunity that they should and they deserve. I mean, right now, the Sleeper has Algier ranked RB3 on the Cardinals. So it's kind of like, you got him. At the end of the day, it's a fourth round pick. I mean, sure, why not? It's a fourth rounder. It's whatever.
Yeah, and it can come draft time, and the Arizona could want to draft running back at pick 3. They could want to go second round running back. None of their running backs, I'd say, are stopping them from going out and getting somebody in the draft that might just be better and take over in that backfield because there's nothing. You got an injury prone James Conner. Trey Benson is still unproven, but I don't know that I'd say he's going to be a top guy in the league. So I don't think you let any of those guys on your team stop you from going out and getting somebody that you think might be a top guy. So, I mean, for a fourth round pick, you're not really giving up anything. But at the same time, I don't think you're getting anything of value.
I will say, and I'll always remember this, your dad did draft Bucky Irving with, I think it was a late third round pick.
Sure.
So there's always going to be that one running back, one wide receiver. There's no way a quarterback's going to be going that late. So who knows what could happen there. But this draft especially, there's going to be a couple studs, I think, that are going to be falling in the third round. But I know we're going to make sure these videos don't last this long, but I think trades were the best thing to talk about in the first episode. But final thing, we're going to be doing it every single episode for you all to listen into. It's going to be called 4th and 10 seconds. Basically, we're going to each have 10 seconds. If we want to call a team out, if we want to let teams know that we're giving up certain players for trades, or if it's literally anything you want to say. You got 10 seconds to speak your mind about the league or what you want to maybe look forward to coming into the season, or if any ideas, maybe what we want to do for the draft and stuff like that. So maybe we can do the draft in North Dakota for Michael. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think, let me get a stopwatch here real fast. Charlie, we'll start with you. And if it's you talking about your trades as well or whatever you want to do, man. 3. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm calling out CJ Stroud. You are my fantasy dynasty guy. Like, you are the franchise for me. You had the best rookie year as a quarterback that anyone has ever seen. You finished top 10 in the league, and now you've gotten worse every single year. What are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, come on.
That's a very fair point.
And I'm an Ohio State guy. We're all Ohio State guys.
I
love the Bucks. I love them. Those are my guys.
Watching his last game in the wild card when I think it was the wild card, he threw. I was like, I know the weather was a factor, but I'm like.
4 picks, though? Come on. What are we doing?
And that Texans defense was balling.
Yeah.
I remember I was trying to trade for, once again, Stroud Baker so badly last year, too, and you aren't doing anything about it. But I will say this. I still have major hope in Stroud. Every quarterback. Dude. Jameis Winston threw for over 30 interceptions, but the man still threw for 30 touchdowns. So, once again, we're rooting for fantasy stats here. Time will tell. But that was a good 10 seconds there. All right, Johnny. Man with the first pick overall. What do you have to say about this league?
Listen, I'm just calling out everybody in the league that's fucking talk shit about my trades. Yeah, we'll see what happens come week 1, It's always about whoever lasts longest in the playoffs, and I'm happy with how my team's looking.
Fair enough, man. I know nobody, I think, can ever give up that 101. Me, I don't know.
Sitting over there with Jay Stroud.
I don't know, who has more value and more hype. Was it Genty last year, or was it Jeremiah Love this year?
I think Jeremiah Love is getting touted as a better prospect this year.
That's why I have no clue, because Genty was me personally, the dude should have won the Heisman.
He should have. I agree.
But that's why
he also had 360 touches last year. So, or in his last season of college. So 2,000 yards on 360 touches. You do the math.
Yeah. When you play on Boise State,
well, right.
But also, who knows where Jeremiah Love's going to get drafted to? Guys, the NFL draft is still 6 weeks away from today.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we have 4 months until the actual football season begins? 5 months, whatever it is. We have 5 months from the draft, and we're making all
right
these
now.
trades
Right now, I'm seeing top destination is the Titans and the Giants. So we'll see what happens.
That's the thing, man. If he goes to the Titans, all I have to say, my dad, the past 2 days, all he's been saying is like, Johnny's gonna be screwed. If Jeremiah Loves goes to the Titans, he's screwed. Like, it's a terrible offense and everything. So, once again, like, it's just
All I'll
only
say is,
I don't know, like,
all I'll say is it was a terrible offense when Derrick Henry was there too, and you
Yeah.
know he definitely made the best of it for his touches. So I'm not worried at all. I think it's a better ran offense now than it was when Henry was there with Tannehill. So I'm still feeling pretty confident that the number one pick will be just fine.
high hopes. And Brian Dabble, I think, was there during the early stage of like Barkley too.
Yeah,
He was. He sure
Yeah.
was.
Once again, I think there's just gonna be developing with Jeremiah Love there if he stays there. I gotta say, man, I love those Titans jerseys there too. All right, my 10 seconds. All I have to say is this. Christian McCaffrey, I know he's 29 years old, but Derrick Henry is still balling at 32. So for all these damn teams telling me that McCaffrey is getting old and everything, the man finishes RB1, and I'm gonna hold on to him, and he's gonna be RB1 again this offseason. Anywho,
it's a good take. It's a good take.
Good take.
I know this episode, once again, it was an hour long. We're gonna make sure to try to cut it to be like 30 minutes, because at this point, I think this episode would be one that people would listen to like on their car drives to work. Because I don't know, I mean, I know we're beautiful and they would see our faces. But we're going to definitely make sure that these videos get reduced a little bit, especially if we get to the point of like posting on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, we just want to find the content. You know, it was our first episode too. So I'm telling you, we'll be more hype and everything in these other episodes as well. We're just trying to get comfortable. So whoever sees these first few episodes, first weeks, whatever it is, we're just having fun here. We're just talking about our Dynasty Football League. That's all we gotta say. Just some fellow Ohioans over here. But once again, appreciate everyone with the week 1 episode here. And we also made this too literally last night, and we already did it today. Like, that's how excited we are about this. We got fucking Charlie here with the headset on, with the ESPN, man. Like, come on now. So, but much love. You know, appreciate it very, very much. I don't know if you guys have anything else to say here last before we head on out of here, but, you know, trust the process, man. I'm telling you.
Let's have an off season, gentlemen. Let's do it.
Yeah, good season, fellas. Good season.
Absolutely. Knowing the next time we talk, we'll probably have other shitty trades coming in to talk about.
Of course.
But we're going to be having other topics to be talking about in our other episodes too. So, once again, it's been real. Adios, motherfuckers.